has irritated me more over the years than anything else has been the fact that untruths written about me in the paper. And it just irks me and irritates me so much that I just explode at times and possibly do things that I later wish I hadn't done.
If you were alive to watch Ted Williams swing a bat, you didn't just see baseball. You saw precision, discipline, and artistry collide in a single motion. Because Ted Williams wasn't just a hitter, he was a fighter pilot, a man who literally went to war, twice, and came back to hit .400. He saw baseball like it was combat math, reading spin, trajectory, and timing with surgical precision. He was the last man to hit .400, the scientist of the batter's box, and the hitter who made pitchers question reality. So today, we're asking, how good was Ted Williams actually? And to answer that, we have to go back to the moment baseball met obsession. 1939, Boston. A 20-year-old kid walks into the Red Sox clubhouse, all lanky limbs and swagger, and says to anyone who'll listen, "All I want out of life is that. When I walk down the street, folks will say, 'There goes the greatest hitter who ever lived.'" They laughed, until he picked up a bat. In his rookie season, Williams hit .327, led the league in RBIs, and immediately drew more walks than most veterans. He wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing perfection. He'd hit until his hands bled. He'd study every swing frame by frame in the mirror. And within 2 years, that obsession would produce something no one has matched since. 1941, America's still pre-war. The music's big band, the headlines are light, and baseball is the national heartbeat. Then Ted Williams does this. .406 average, 553 on base, 735 slugging, OPS 1.287. Those aren't just numbers. That's a code, the formula for hitting immortality. No one's hit .400 since. Not Cobb, not Mays, not Bonds. And here's the part people forget. He didn't have to do it. Going into the final day of the season, his average was .39955, which would have rounded up. He could have sat out and guaranteed 400. Instead, he played both games of a doubleheader. He went 6 for 8. He earned it. That's who Ted Williams was, the man who chose the hard way and made it look effortless. At 24 years old, just as he was rewriting baseball's math, he walked away. World War II. Ted Williams becomes a U.S. Marine Corps fighter pilot. 3 prime seasons. Gone. Not for injury, not for scandal, for duty. He flew the F-4U Corsair, a plane so difficult to handle, it killed pilots in training. Williams didn't just survive it, he mastered it. Later, he'd be recalled again for Korea, flying 39 combat missions, sometimes as wingman to John Glenn. Imagine that. One day you're hitting .342 in Fenway. The next, you're dodging anti-aircraft fire at 600 miles per hour. He didn't lose his prime, he gave it away. And when he came back, he was somehow still Ted Williams. 1946, 3 years gone. He picks up a bat and hits .342 with 38 home runs, wins MVP, and takes Boston to the World Series. He'd been flying fighter jets, but somehow his eye for a baseball, that 0.4-second reaction window, was sharper than ever. That year, pitchers said it felt like he knew what they were throwing. And honestly, he kind of did. Williams once said, "A good hitter can hit any pitch, but a great hitter waits for his pitch." He wasn't guessing, he was calculating. Every swing had data behind it. Every take had purpose. He was baseball's first human algorithm. From 1946 to 1951, Ted Williams was baseball's cheat code. He led the league in on-base percentage every single year. He hit .350 or better 5 times. He won 2 MVPs and finished top 2 in voting 4 more times. His average over that span, 354. His OPS plus, 205. That means he was 105% better than the average major leaguer. In modern terms, that's like hitting .350 while posting a .500 OBP and still hitting 40 bombs. Pitchers started building strategies around him. The Ted Williams shift was born. An entire defense shifted to the right side just to block his pull power, and he still beat it. You could move the field, but you couldn't move his eye. Williams was obsessed with understanding why things worked. He'd draw diagrams of the strike zone, 77 baseball-sized circles, each labeled with his personal batting average for that pitch location. He literally mapped hitting. He once said, "If I'd hit the pitch that was right for me every time, I'd have hit .500. He was the first player to think like a sabermetrician, decades before sabermetrics even existed. Walks weren't boring to him. They were victories of discipline. His career OBP was .482. No one in MLB history has come close. Not Bonds, 444. Not Trout, 412. Not Ruth, 474. Ted Williams mastered the rarest skill in baseball, not swinging. But not everyone loved Ted Williams. The fans adored his swing. The media, not so much. He didn't smile for photos. He didn't play nice with reporters. When they booed, he didn't tip his cap. He spat in their direction. In 1947, he said, "All I'm interested in is hitting." And he meant it. To some, he was cold. To others, he was pure. Because Ted Williams wasn't playing for attention. He was playing for truth. He didn't want fame. He wanted perfection. And the only thing that could stop him was another war. 1952, Korea. Ted Williams gets recalled to active duty. He's 33 years old, a veteran, an MVP, and he goes back into the cockpit. 39 missions. Shot at, forced to crash land once, nearly burned alive. He walks away from it all. When he returned to baseball, his hair was gray, his reflexes were slower, but his brain, sharper than ever. And he immediately hit .407 in limited games. Because even after facing death, he could still face a fastball. By the mid-1950s, Williams was aging, but you wouldn't know it from the numbers. At age 38, he hit .388 and won the batting title. At 39, he hit .328 with a 1.042 OPS. At 40, he hit .316 with a 29 homers. He was playing chess in a league full of checkers. Pitchers got younger, faster, nastier, and he just waited them out. He didn't need bat speed when he had godlike pitch recognition. When the ball left the pitcher's hand, Ted Williams already knew where it was going. Before StatCast, before spin rate, Ted Williams was the human version of it. September 28, 1960, Fenway Park. Ted Williams steps to the plate for the final time, age 42. The crowd stands, and on his very last swing, his last one ever, he crushes a home run to right center. He rounds the bases slowly, no smile, no wave, no tip of the cap. He disappears into the dugout. John Updike later wrote, "Gods do not answer letters," and that was Ted Williams, divine in his craft, human in his silence. 521 home runs, 344 career average, 482 OBP, still the best ever. 19 All-Star selections, 6 batting titles, 2 MVPs, and he missed 5 prime years to war. Add those back, and he might have finished with 700 home runs and 3,000 hits, all while maintaining one of the best averages ever recorded. Adjusted for era, park, and league, his career OPS plus of 191 ranks second all-time. Only Babe Ruth is higher. Even Barry Bonds, with all his modern advantages, sits below that. Williams was so efficient, so consistent, that every era's metrics still bow to him. No matter how the game evolves, launch angle, spin rate, exit velocity, his philosophy still wins. Wait for your pitch, punish mistakes, control the zone. He wasn't just great at hitting, he defined what hitting greatness means. Ted Williams wasn't the greatest all-around player ever. He wasn't a flashy fielder. He didn't steal bases. But when it comes to hitting a baseball, the single hardest skill in sports, no one has ever been better. He hit like a mathematician with a warrior's nerve. He saw like a pilot, thought like a physicist, and swung like an artist. And maybe that's the real story of Ted Williams, the perfectionist who risked everything, from fame to life itself, in pursuit of one impossible goal: to be remembered as the greatest hitter who ever lived. And more than half a century later, he still is.